So Dr. Leanne Ellich is one of the sharpest sales minds on LinkedIn. Nearly 39,000 followers, a sought-after speaker, and a genius when it comes to building authority through content. Now, up until recently, and like many high-level business owner-operators, she's built this awesome system inside her Chat GPT. And because of that, is understandably a bit skeptical when it comes to migrating over to Claude. Because who would want to have to build all of that back up from scratch? If that sounds familiar, this video's for you. Because I'll let you in on a little secret. The switch only takes 5 minutes. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. So why is it so important to do it right now? I've been working with AI in my content and sales workflow since 2021, about a year before ChatGPT launched in the November of 2022. And in the 5 years that I've been working with AI, I've never seen a 3-month window move so fast than the last 3 months we've just had. And the delta between the people who are using the right tools and the wrong tools is widening fast. And if you're a founder or a revenue leader running a lean team, the gap is going to cost you. So let's fix that today. And by the way, if you like content where sales and marketing meets technology, make sure you like and subscribe to this channel because it helps support it and keep me motivated to make more content like this. So why would you want to make the switch to Claude specifically? So there's 4 reasons I've made Claude my primary AI and why I think you should as well. So reason number 1 is co-work. So Anthropic has built a Chrome extension that lets Claude operate inside your browser. It handles the high volume, low value tasks in one tab, while you can be off doing your deep work in the other tab. Things like research, drafting, things you'd otherwise delegate to a VA, all gets taken care of in that Chrome extension. Now, ChatGPT does have agentic features, but it's a bit clunkier. Most people don't even know it exists, and the Claude version actually gets used. Second reason is mobile dispatch. Now, many busy business owners, the busier they are, the less likely it is that they're sitting at their desk. Claude on mobile lets you give instructions to your desktop from your mobile phone using a feature called dispatch. You can tell it things to, scan your inbox and tell you who you need to follow up with today. You can summarize threads. It's very practical and it fits how founders actually operate. The third reason is Anthropic is focused. So you might have noticed in the media recently that OpenAI is navigating a hell of a lot of different things in the media. There's government surveillance concerns, they're burning through cash, and it's a very public drama between Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, and old Enong. Now, I'm not here to pile on, but when I'm choosing a primary tool for my business, and make no mistake, this is no longer optional. I want to make sure that the company behind that tool is laser focused on their mission too. Anthropic is focused. Every release gets meaningfully better. And that matters when you're building workflows around it. Because unlike the speed in which AI can operate, human workflows, you need something that's going to have that longevity. Number 4, projects. So Claude's project system lets you compartmentalize context across different areas of your business. Now, don't get me wrong, ChatGPT also has the projects feature. But if you've never heard of the projects feature in either of them, I beg you, please start using it. So in my Claude, I've got a project for YouTube, I've got a project for LinkedIn, I've got a project for business growth. I've even got one for peak performance, which I use as a sort of pseudo personal trainer. And once you take the time to set these things up properly, it completely changes how you work. So let's get stuck in. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to make sure you've got the Claude desktop app downloaded to your machine or your laptop or whatever you want to call it. You also want to make sure that you've got the Chrome extension for Claude installed in Chrome. Then you want to go down to your name, click it, go into settings, then into capabilities. Now over here, you're going to notice start import. I want you to press that button. And what it does is it gives you a prompt that Claude has already written, which you can then copy and paste into whatever your LLM of choice is. So obviously this is about ChatGPT versus Claude, but it also works with Gemini, Grok, whatever you want to migrate to, use this prompt. So I'm going to copy that. So then you jump over to your ChatGPT, you paste this in and press enter. And what that will do is it'll basically go through if there's any history or anything else like that, it'll go through and it'll pull out the instructions. In this case, I've completely migrated away from ChatGPT, so my version doesn't really work too well, but you're going to see a lot of instructions, identity, like all of this stuff is going to get populated when you put this into your ChatGPT. From there, you press copy and then back over inside of Claude. This is where, if you've not been using projects, please, for the love of God, start a project. Because when you build out your projects in here, this is very easy, by the way. If you want to start a new project, you just go up to projects, create a new project. So let's use YouTube here as an example. I've obviously got quite a few things in here, but you're actually able to go in and paste your instructions back in here, and that will then save to the memory. So if you've got multiple projects, do this and make sure you copy over that prompt for every single project so that each one gets its own sort of unique context. Build it out inside of Claude. Bob's your uncle, fan is your aunt. Now, from experience, here's what to expect when you do it, okay? The transfer, even with the prompts and everything else, you're going to lose a little bit of context, okay? So you're going to get about 70% of your context brought over. So the first week will have a little bit of friction, okay? So Claude will miss things that ChatGPT knew. Responses will feel slightly off, but stick with it, okay? And here's a practical tip to be actually able to manage the change. So wherever you have ChatGPT on your phone, or if you've got it as a bookmark in your Chrome browser, swap those out when you do this transfer with Claude. So I did this, I had ChatGPT I actually don't have my phone on my desk, but I had ChatGPT on my phone and it was down in the main bar on my iPhone. All I did was swap out that icon, put in my Claude one. So then my behavior didn't have to change that much. All I needed to do was go to the same spot, except the logo was orange instead of white. So that will make it much more seamless to transfer over. I did this myself. I had so much context built up in ChatGPT. I myself was really resistant to it. But within a week, I was like, I can't go back to ChatGPT now. This is just so much better. So do the same thing. You won't regret it. So you're not going to want to completely abandon OpenAI. What it's still best in class for is programmatic transcription. So what I mean by that is I come up with a lot of my ideas by verbalizing them. You know, I will talk them into my phone. And what I have it set up then on the back end of my phone to do is take the recording, put it through OpenAI's Whisper platform, and that will then take that sort of brain dump and transcribe it. And then that transcription can form the basis of all of the other content pieces off the back of that. So that's the only use case I still use OpenAI for. So I still have it, built-in modules in the background in my business where anytime transcription needs to get done, Whisper's the thing to do it. Now, if you're a B2B founder and you want to see how I'm using AI as part of a broader outbound and content system to generate consistent pipeline from LinkedIn, the link below will walk you through that exact framework. No fluff, just a system. Now, another question I get asked a lot by people in my network is Claude Chat, Claude Cowork, Claude Code. What is the difference? I've made a video that explains that. You can watch that here next. I'll see you there. Bye.